Yes, that is a buffalo you can see in the living room. And there is a giant python lying in the children's bed here. Crazy, because these animals are wild, have enormous strength and are dangerous, both for humans and for other pets. But these particular specimens really are pets. And their owners have become accustomed to their animal companions.
You know, it would be a wonderful house pet, except they may kill you.
The two beasts are at home in completely opposite parts of the world. Home. Let's get started in the United States. This is the home of Wild Thing. Weighing 1.2 tons, the buffalo is quite a hunk, even by Texan standards. And home is meant quite literally here. The bison's owners, R.C. and Sharon Bridges, live with the beast under one roof. The farmer family owns several acres of land, but the American buffalo prefers to be indoors. R.C. actually only has one rule for him.
If his feet are clean and everything, he can come in pretty well anytime. We do have to rearrange the furniture though, because he does take up a lot of room in the house. He's bigger than most dogs.
With a shoulder height of up to 6 feet, the bison is the largest mammal that lives in the Americas. And Wild Thing just happens to live in a house.
The best behaved animal there is. I mean, he's never broken anything. He just comes in here, looks at everything, then goes outside and destroys my place.
Although the animal weighs a full 1,200 kilograms, it can still run at up to 60 kilometers per hour, if it wants to. But now it's time to play.
You good boy? Yes, you are, good boy. Yes, you are.
Dog owners throw sticks or a ball. Wild Thing loves to push things.
Wild Thing, come see Mama. Come on.
Clearly, with his strength and the two horns, he could hurt someone very badly. And so could another giant pet. From Texas, we now head off to Cambodia. To Mae, a python, which weighs 110 kilograms and is about 7 meters long. And this is her home. The python has been living with a Cambodian family near the capital of Phnom Penh for a good 10 years. Over that time, snake Mae has integrated perfectly into the family's everyday life. For 10-year-old Taksin, she's happy to be a pillow while he's doing his homework. The boy has grown up with the snake. The two have an intimate relationship.
I have to read this book for school. While I'm doing that, I like to be cozy and cuddle up with May.
So, a living, moving neck roll pillow, which, if she wanted to, could swallow Taksin whole. Just like Buffalo Wild Thing, Mae is completely free to move around the house. The snake came into the Sambat family, or rather crawled in, a good 10 years ago, and she's remained part of it ever since. Ah, here you are. Come on then, lunch. The rice is ready. Taksin and his big brother Uon are already quite independent and are responsible for the snake, of course. Mae is curious and likes to crawl around the apartment. Other pets, for her potential food, she skillfully ignores. Other members of Mae's species can grow to around 9 meters. Pythons are therefore regarded as the longest snakes in the world. They coil around their prey and then swallow it in one piece. Aren't the two kids afraid of her? No, nothing can happen. We've known the snake forever. We've had her ever since I was a baby. Snakes feed exclusively on meat, which they digest extremely slowly. Consequently, Mae is quite happy with a chicken every 3 weeks. I like the dogs. And the snake? Even more. When Father Corn discovers the puppy dogs with the boys, the fun's over. Dogs do not belong on the table, for a good reason. I'm afraid for my little dogs. For the snake, they would be a welcome snack between meals. They all eat lunch together in Texas too. Cowboy RC is very well aware of the danger which comes from his oversized pet.
Oh, he could kill all of us right now. He weighs way over a ton, so he's gonna mash you to death real quick. At least he don't eat you like the bears do. And his kick is deadly. You know, if he kicks you, you're pretty well over with. I wouldn't be here if I thought something was gonna happen. I trust him completely. Of course, I wouldn't have my wife and son-in-law in here if I thought they were in a lot of danger.
In the US, dozens of people die every year from attacks by buffaloes. Especially bulls like Wild Thing can be very aggressive. Instead of a fight to the death, however, the only fight in the Bridges house is to get the best seat in front of the TV.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Talking about blocking the view.
You know, you're not made out of clear water, you know.
Wild Thing ignores criticism of his figure. In Texas, everything is just that little bit bigger.
He's a very unique house pet, and I recommend anybody that wants a buffalo.
It wasn't always that way, as these images from a private family video can prove. Without the iron fence, the family dog Spot would probably not be alive today. At that time, Wild Thing was having a bad day. In the meantime, the two of them get along splendidly again. The Bridges got Wild Thing when he was a year old and quickly realized that the bull was particularly tame. At the wedding, it wasn't the bride but the buffalo who was center of attention, and he's up for any kind of fun. Bathing doesn't take place in the house, but in a small pond on the Bridges' land. Foster dad RC is watching over the bull and seems to be having more fun than Wild Thing.
Oh, we're just going on a little buffalo canoe ride. I'm too lazy to paddle. Yeah, you heard of horsepower, we got buffalo power.
Unfortunately, the buffalo is harder to steer than expected. Once Wild Thing has finished bathing, nothing can keep him in the water. In Cambodia too, house snake Mae also takes regular baths. The two brothers are solely responsible for this, even though together they weigh just half as much as the snake. What makes Mae so special to these two? All my life I've known Mae. I think she protects us from evil spirits. She watches over us. The name Mae means something like good spirit. During a severe tropical storm the previous year, the family's house remained unscathed, and their banana fields yield more than those of their neighbors. Lucky charm or not, the family has lived in complete harmony with the snake for over a decade, and pythons have an average life expectancy of 25 years. The boys also have duties, because every now and then, even a snake has to take a nature break. The three of them go for a walk in the banana plantation behind the house. It's quite convenient with the snake, much more pleasant than with the dogs. They have to go out several times a day, so we share the work. My father does the dogs, we do the snake. Smart move, boys. With the appetite bison Wild Thing has every day in Texas, taking him outside should be a major task here too, right?
He has never used the bathroom in the house, and I'm real proud of that.
The Bridges' love of animals isn't restricted to buffaloes though. These two young bears live on their ranch. They bought the animals from a bankrupt zoo and saved them from being put to sleep. While romping around with his wild animals, RC has got himself many a scratch, but he's happy to put up with it.
I think cowboys love wild animals because cowboys are wild. You know, it's in us to be wild. Sometimes we're wilder than the animals are.
The animal protection laws in the USA allow anyone here to keep wild animals like these. In Germany, bears in the garden would be unthinkable. I wonder if one day the bears will be allowed to roam around the house as freely as Wild Thing. Then things might get a bit crowded.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
In Cambodia too, the day is drawing to a close, and that means off to bed, including the snake. The snake should protect the kids from burglars, and while doing so, it takes care of the rats too. Ah, you've already gone to bed. Yes, I'm going as well now. Mai's here with you, is she? Good. Then I wish you a good night. Sleeping in the shelter of a giant snake, large pets are not only spectacular, but more useful than you think.